This has massive implications for the New York Jets. In just the last couple hours, there have been multiple major wide receiver updates leading to who the New York Jets will be able to go after, will not be able to go after as they try to bolster their receiving core to surround Justin Fields in this upcoming 2025 NFL season. And we got to break it all down. What's up, guys? I'm Matt Long. Welcome to Jets Digest. Jumping into the news for today, coming from The Athletics. Diana Rossini. The Raiders, Steelers, Vikings, and Jets continue to scour the veteran wide receiver market ahead of roster cutdown day. And the new news today, so that came out a couple of days ago from Diana Rossini, but the news today is Jakobi Meyers from the Las Vegas Raiders has requested a trade, coming out from a Raiders insider. Due to an inability to agree on a contract extension with the Raiders, wide receiver Jakobi Meyers has requested a trade per source. Rap Sheet and Tom Pelissero were the first to report. Jakobi Meyers is going to the final year of his deal and is set to make a base salary of $10.5 million in 2025. Now, the New York Jets, it's no secret, they're looking for an upgrade at wide receiver 2 over the current wide receiver 2 in Josh Reynolds. We need to surround Justin Fields with the best possible talent that we can surround him with because he struggles to throw the football, and we want to make it as easy on him as we possibly can. Waking up this morning, you would not have thought that Jakobi Meyers was going to be an option in the wide receiver trade market, but here we are on Monday afternoon talking about him. Coming from The Athletic, it's no surprise that Meyers wants a new deal as he's coming off the best season of his career. He caught 87 passes for 1,027 yards and 4 touchdowns in 2024. After receiver Davante Adams requested a trade just 4 games into the 2024 season and subsequently headed to the New York Jets, the Raiders asked Jakobi Meyers to step up as their number 1 receiver. Despite poor quarterback play, he rose to the occasion. The receiver market has spiked dramatically this year, which has turned the contract Meyers signed in 2023 into a bargain. According to SpotTrack, his average annual contract value of $11 million is tied with Allen Lazard for 32nd among receivers. And, talking a lot about the Jets here, but breaking down Jakobi Meyers' stats from last season, played in 15 games, earning 129 targets, like I read off earlier, caught 87 of those receptions, only 4 touchdowns, but that's because it's a poor offense. Caught over 1,000 yards. This is a wide receiver who can absolutely play. The Raiders, the news is currently they have declined his trade request, but there's more news coming out of the Las Vegas Raiders that is leading insiders to believe that Jakobi Meyers, the story may not be fully written with him when it comes to what team is he going to play for this season. According to Adam Schefter, coming out at 5:32 p.m. on Monday afternoon, free agent wide receiver Amari Cooper is returning to the Raiders on a 1-year deal. Now, they say Amari Cooper is returning because if you may remember back in 2015, I believe the year was, might have been 2014, the Los Angeles Raiders selected wide receiver Amari Cooper 4th overall out of the University of Alabama, lit up the league with Derek Carr for a couple of years. Now, Amari Cooper is returning to the Las Vegas Raiders, and what this means is this gives another wide receiver option to the Las Vegas Raiders, which people are asking, does this mean anything for Jakobi Meyers? Does this mean that Jakobi Meyers is now more easily going to be traded because they brought in Amari Cooper? No, it's not. Unfortunately, I wish I could sit here and say now Jakobi Meyers, a talented wide receiver, it's highly more likely that we can now trade for him, but that's not the case. Amari Cooper last season, I believe it was the Buffalo Bills coach. Some executive from around the league called him washed. If the NFL executives are calling you washed, they know what they're looking at. They know what they're talking about. Unfortunately, Amari Cooper he's washed. He was a great wide receiver. I know a lot of New York Jets fans were excited about the prospect of potentially bringing in Amari Cooper to add to our wide receiver room, which still needs more help. But I don't think Amari Cooper would have been the right way to go. He would have thrown away the youth movement that we're trying to do. Would not have thrown it away all by himself, but certainly would not have fit in as another young guy for our current offense that we're trying to put together. There's a certain vibe that Aaron Glenn's going for. Amari Cooper, while I'm sure he's a good locker room guy because we haven't heard anything otherwise, but age-wise wasn't going to fit in. Production-wise, he had about 500 yards last season with the Buffalo Bills and wasn't really a factor at all. Even when the Bills made it deep into the playoffs, Amari Cooper was not able to break into that rotation and really do too much. But let's bring it back to the guy that is much more exciting. Jakobi Meyers, while yes, he is a more underrated name, this is a guy who can without a doubt play pretty high level football. He's a great wide receiver too. Put up over 1,000 yards for the Raiders last season, even though that offense was absolutely terrible. I think, was it Aiden O'Connell was the starting quarterback? Oh, last year was the Minshew/Aiden O'Connell debacle. I mean, just absolutely terrible quarterback play. There is an even higher ceiling for Jakobi Meyers. I'm not going to sit here and say the New York Jets offense is so good and we're going to reach him. We're going to lead him to reach those stats. But what I am saying is that Jakobi Meyers is better than what, you know, a casual NFL fan would think. He's not a household name. He's not a super exciting name, but Jakobi Meyers is someone who deserves more than the $11 million that he's currently getting. And he is someone that Jets fans should be excited at the prospect of trading for. The way we would pay for him, he's 28 years old, so he's a little bit older, but you really, 31-year-old Amari Cooper and 28 years old, those 3 years make a big difference for me. Even when you're doing a youth movement, you can pick up a 28-year-old if he's the right player for your team. So don't worry about him being 28 years old. What we should be worrying about is what would we have to trade for him if he was available. I have to imagine the Raiders are not going to let him go for anything under a third-round pick. I have to imagine that's the trade point. Honestly, I think it's a super fair asking price if you are Las Vegas and, you know, you're shipping around your wide receiver, because Jets fans know more than most other NFL franchises right now, people aren't giving away wide receivers. It's why you have to draft them so high in the draft. It's why they get paid so highly in free agency. They're highly important, and they're really hard to find. When a player as good as Jakobi Meyers is available, a third-round price tag is what you're going to have to pay. The New York Jets, in recent years, have shipped away future draft capital, so we do not have our full arsenal of draft picks to go around, which is a little bit of a call for pause when you are talking about trading for a guy like Jakobi Meyers, but maybe you can give them some sort of player swap. You can give them a wide receiver lower on our depth chart. Maybe they think Malachi Corley is someone that they can do a little reclamation project on, and we ship them a 7th-round pick in 2027, 2020, or, you know, and another 4th-round pick and Malachi Corley. So we can bring down the price a little bit. After that, the guy is good for about 900 to 1,100 yards any given season. Still 28 years old, so at the back end of his prime, definitely he'll be going up to the $18 million, probably maybe even around $20 million kind of range. I know a lot of middling wide receivers sign contracts, and in the next couple of years, those contracts turn into albatross contracts. I'm confident that's not the way it would go with Jakobi Meyers. He, by all accounts, seems like a pretty hard worker. You know, you may remember him on the New England Patriots as well, but I think it would be more than worth the New York Jets to try to explore some sort of trade surrounding a 4th-round pick, Malachi Corley, or some other young wide receiver on our team that the Raiders may have interest in. If any, they may not have interest in any of our wide receivers. And then a deeper, in the future, deep day 3 pick. Just anything. That 3rd-round pick is a little bit, you know, it's obviously higher than you'd like to pay. If I'm the Raiders, I'm not going anywhere. It's a 3rd-round pick or we're hanging up the phone. But currently they're saying they're not going to trade him. It would not surprise me if they weren't going to trade him, although it depends on how well this Dante Thornton 4th-round pick out of Oregon, I think. He's getting a ton of buzz in training camp. He might actually be from Tennessee. Getting a ton of buzz in training camp. Dante Thornton could end up taking away targets and just playing time from Jakobi Meyers here. We know, of course, Brock Bowers is always going to be the number 1 wide receiver or receiver in general for the Raiders for the next probably 15 years. That being said, I think there are a ton of ways that Jakobi Meyers, depending on how disgruntled he is with these contract discussions, can become available for the New York Jets to go ahead and inquire in a trade. Definitely someone who I'm not even going to say is worth calling over, because I'm sure Darren Mougey, as active as he's been in the trade market, I'm sure he has already picked up the phone and placed a call to the Las Vegas Raiders asking about the availability of Jakobi Meyers. If not, they need to get on the phone right now, offer a 4th-round pick plus Malachi Corley plus a 2027 or 2028 7th-round pick, depending on what we got to spare. Let's go get this guy. We need more help for Justin Fields. Justin Fields deserves to have the best possible chance at turning himself into a franchise quarterback. We know Aaron Glenn wants a highly mobile quarterback. They're tough to find. We got one in Justin Fields. Whether he's going to be good enough or not, that is yet to be determined, and we'll find out this season. But if you stuck around this long to watch the video, thank you for tapping in. Please hit that like button if you haven't already. Hit the subscribe button if you're new, and go Jets.